like, at what age do you feel like black boys, black men become a threat?
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah. I feel that black males become a threat early on. Because in my case, I think I was at Disney, 13 or 14 years old. Now, I'm not a tall man now.
Show God.
So, 13, 12, 14 or whatever, it's like, I was a little kid. Like, no matter, I was just, So, yeah, we were watching Indiana Jones' little Temple of Doom thing. Had just won a little basketball, so I pull up bouncing the basketball. Show's going on, so I brought up to stop bouncing the ball and hold on to it, to not be a distraction. But the white woman in front of me, first time I ever experienced it, reached over, grabbed her purse, snatched it up, looked at me all funny, and didn't even move. It was like, at one point it seemed like she was trying to make a seat for me. Then she just looked at me and she just kind of stood there and, like, instead of watching the show, you staring at me. And I'm just standing here watching the show with a ball in my hand, not bothering anybody. And I think she made some little under breath comments and stuff like that. So it was like, I kind of just brushed it off. But yeah, 12, 13, 14 years old, it hit home then.
I would have to say kindergarten. Based on how some people relate to our students at such a young age, the kid could all of act like they're going to do something, and sometimes some people be like, call the police, versus trying to de-escalate certain situations. Your first instinct is to call the police on a kindergartner that's been through trauma, happens to be a black male.
Now, me personally, I never experienced racism until I was maybe 19, 20, personally. But that was only because when I had long hair the first time, I had dreads or whatever. That's when it started to become an issue, which is honestly, being truthfully, one of the reasons why I cut my hair off initially the first time. I wanted to feel like, maybe I can, if I become a clean cut person, the world will accept me more. I get a nice job and, all those things. And I did it honestly because I felt like that would be the case. And then I slowly realized that it had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with because I had hair. It was my skin color, So that's when I would say, personally, it actually happened with me at 19, 20, when I first experienced it firsthand. So
I'm gonna throw a name out, and I just kind of want your first response or your first reaction.
Can we cuss?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Trayvon Martin.
My kid.
My brother.
My nephew.
Ahmad Arbrey.
Me on a regular day.
Me this morning.
George Floyd.
Father.
A good friend.
Once again, innocent.
That guy trying to get it right.
Human being.
Yes. What are you carrying? Because the energy,
Yeah, I feel it.
yeah.
One small incident, you might not come back home. One wrong turn, you might not make it back home. One person, you could be in the grocery store shopping. Somebody that just doesn't even, they don't know you. They never seen you before. Just one call, a whole situation could be flipped. And, just thinking about that, that's a lot of weight to carry. On top of the fact that I'm, as a man, not black, as a man, as a human being, just trying to really do something for herself, trying to make something of herself in the world or in a country that has basically placed the odds against me.
Somebody who sees me and doesn't know me or you know, I'm doing something just regular, no amount of effort I put into my life can save me from somebody who don't see me or value my life. And no matter how repentant I am of my past, you have some people who look at you for who you was and not who you are. And I think that's the way that I'm carrying. It's just like, if you look at George Floyd, if you look at Ahmad Arbrey, they focus on their past, the things that they did, as a way to level what happened to them. I think that's the way that I'm carrying. Not that I've done anything wrong in my past, but let's say tomorrow if I wake up and do something that I definitely shouldn't have done, and then the next day something happens to me, they're gonna judge me based on what I did yesterday and not how I've been living the past 30 years of my life.
I think they will come and pull me out of the car and treat me like a dog and not a human being. I'll take that back, because a dog will get more love and sympathy more than my life seemed like it. You know, imagine if a police was holding the dog down and the dog died. And that's what I'm carrying. I'm carrying the frustration of a world that sees a man like me and don't value his life at all. So if the world sees that man, then they see me in the same way.
So all of that frustration, coupled with the fact that, believe it or not, I think a lot of stuff is going on now. The people that have been arrested will never see any kind of justice at all. I could be wrong. History has proven that they don't really do that. I mean, the Amanda Geiger, whatever, officer that shot old boy in his home. I mean, what's she looking at? Is she out yet? Because I know it wasn't locked down. Stuff like that, man, it's just crazy. But yet we got, if I decided I wanted to, you know, sell something that grows from the earth, you know, you're going to mess around and, like, put me away for 15, 20 years.
Right.
And then somebody can shoot somebody dead, broad daylight.
And they get 4.
Right. Multiple people.
Yeah, 4 years. Oh, yeah, we're going to give you supervised probation. Oh, yeah, the time that you were in your house, we're going to count that as, you know, time served. You ain't been nowhere. So, yeah, frustration, just the world in general. It's really hard not to be flippant to everybody.
It's so much layered trauma.
It's deeply
Yeah.
It's like a doggone vanilla wafer Oreo. It's just so much layered trauma. And you get past one layer, you got to deal with the next layer.
Right.
And
Right.
the next layer. So
Your children, just in general, what are the rules that you give them when they get pulled over?
So I really don't know what I would tell my kids, because apparently there's nothing you can tell them to keep them safe. I did get the talk of, if you get pulled over, crack all the windows so the cops can look in every window as they coming up, turn the car off, keep your hands on the steering wheel and don't move. Now it's different because, you know, people have concealed carry license and stuff like that, and that's also what gets me, is because, yeah, I got a weapon, I'm licensed to carry it. Okay, don't reach for the gun. I'm not. Show me your ID. Okay, I'm getting my ID out, and you still unload.
Philando Castile.
Yeah.